this is going to be a different kind of episode of the Lime Pasta Show. Now, if you're brand new to what I do, my content is typically way more lighthearted than this. I have skits in the middle, and as well as constructively review a video game, I try to make a comedy show out of it as well. So, this is not typically my shtick. That being said, I really felt the need to give a serious review of this visual novel. If not give a review, at least talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not completed this visual novel, please do not watch this video yet. Do not watch this video yet. Finish it and then come back and watch this video and have a discussion in the comments. I will put a link in the description to the developer's website and probably a link to it on Steam as well. The game is free. It takes 3 to 5 hours to complete. Please go into this game as blind as possible. Trust me, you will not regret it. As for the rest of you, let's dive right into Doki Doki Literature Club. Roll the intro. Doki Doki Literature Club. What a sadistically deceptive name. I assume if you are here, you have finished this game by now. If not, what are you doing? Did you not listen to me? This is your final warning. Okay, we good now? We good? Okay, good. So, yeah. That was a ride, wasn't it? I gotta admit, I'm not a visual novel guy. Don't get me wrong, I consume a lot of Japanese animated media. Gungrave, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Stark, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Spice and Wolf, Angel Beats, Samurai Champloo, Hunter x Hunter, Higurashi When They Cry, Your Lie in April, and the delicious JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are all contenders for spots in my top 20 shows of all time. Not just anime, shows. Meaning that of my 20 all-time favorite serialized multimedia productions, 13 slots are anime. Not to mention that Ghost in the Shell and Perfect Blue are two of my favorite films of all time. Oh no, I am no stranger to the way of the otaku. That being said, manga and visual novels never clicked with me. And I know what some of you hardcore otakus are thinking. How can you appreciate any of those anime if you don't appreciate the source material? And that is true, I am a bit of a hypocrite there. But while my time with manga was just due to a short attention span and a general disinterest in reading, visual novels escape me on a conceptual level. It's like a video game, sort of. But it's also like an anime where you're the main character, sort of. Ooh, but it's also like a choose-your-own-adventure book, sort of. Visual novels never made me feel like I'm the main character, but more like I was just guiding some guy whose name I got to choose. And I also had a problem with the free choice aspect. For instance, oh no! Yui-chan and Mika-chan hate each other after the cafeteria incident. They both want to date me, but if I choose one, I'll ruin my friendship with the other. Which one do I choose? Well, Yui is a practicing communist and Mika likes being a dick to birds. And both are super tsundere. My least favorite harem trope. I like birds, but I also like capitalism. But I also dislike tsundere. I'm stuck with these two? What about old Asuka Nishihara over there? You know, the one I was shoehorned into a conversation 4 gameplay hours ago and still haven't revisited? She has beautiful silver hair, wears glasses, she's quiet and a little socially awkward, but she's really sweet. And I thought I saw her in the background of the record store scene holding up a Stevie Ray Vaughan vinyl. I love the blues. But here I am stuck with Karl Marx and Bird Bitch. Get me out of this situation and into a situation where I can talk with Asuka. But I guess I can't because I was supposed to hand her the tan Taco Bell napkin instead of the beige Chick-fil-A napkin when she asked me for one earlier in order to unlock her route. And I know not all visual novels are like this.
but from my experience, they have to be crafted in a very specific way in order to get away with this kind of thing. And this is not to say that this is a pit or a game breaker for me, but for me, my problem with visual novels lies in the fact that they give you the illusion of free choice. You really only get to do what you want to do on your first run. If you want to explore the multiple endings and get the full experience of the story, you're going to have to make decisions and clicks that you don't necessarily want to make your second, third, fourth time around. And doing that just to get your money's worth seems to me like it defeats the whole purpose of the concept of the visual novel. This is where Doki Doki comes in.
I've consumed many pieces of media in which shit hits the fan. Doki Doki is up there. Even from the title, this game is intentionally setting out to deceive you. You're presented with 4 girls, 3 of which you could potentially date, or so we think. If you go into this game blind, like you should, you would probably have made a decision on which girl is your waifu by the first time you get into the club. This was not the case for me because I'm an indecisive beta male. I thought Monika was a bit too bland, side note, I think this was intentional, and Natsuki was a bit too tsundere for me, which left Sayori and Yuri. I thought I was making a smart decision by working on both of their routes at the same time and sticking with the stereotypical visual novel beat that happens. You know the one. Just under a quarter way through the whole story, there's some inciting incident that makes you choose a definite route. Well, I did that, and
Okay, yeah, it's time to address the elephant in the room. The infamous scene where Sayori hangs herself. Now, when I first opened up this game, I read the trigger warning and I thought, oh, okay, this is probably going to deal with themes of depression and they don't want people being triggered over heavy themes like this. Okay, I get it. I was not prepared for what was going to happen. The first time I saw that scene, I literally jumped out of my chair, audibly gasped, and stood there for like 10 seconds. I was so shocked. That scene was so abrasive and gut-wrenching. And like literally the day before, I had made the choice saying, oh, I love you, and thinking that I was choosing her route. And I thought that that would like change things, but no, there she is, just hanging by a rope from her neck. Holy crap, a visual novel or a game has not made me feel such dread and guilt out of just a single solitary image like that. That was really well put together and really shocking. Now that I have praised this scene for its setup and execution, I do have something to critique.
And this is my only problem with DDLC, but it did affect how the rest of the experience felt for me. The sequence goes like this. You get ready for the festival early morning. Sayori is running late. Since I thought I was choosing her route when I confessed to her, I thought she was gonna feel a bit better. I get to school and talk to Monika. Monika ends up saying 2 very intentional statements. You really left her hanging there, and I know more than you think. That's when you read the creepy poem, see the dead body of Sayori, and then you go to the glitched out title screen after the bad end screen with Sayori mysteriously missing. My one big problem with this whole sequence is, in my opinion, I think they gave away the twist too early. Because Monika had to say, I know more than you think, and act not concerned at all, I was able to figure out that Monika was some sort of omniscient being before I even started the second phase of the game. Maybe this is due to me seeing Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya a few times, but I felt that sequence made it too obvious. And there are a few select moments in the rest of the game that tries to trick you into thinking that maybe Monika isn't the cause. There's one time where Monika says help me, and Yuri going more insane with intentional breaks in the art style made me think that she might have some omniscient powers. I really feel if Monika had acted more normal during that first phase leading up to Sayori's death, it would have made the part where Monika is revealed to be a lot more shocking. Like, for the longest time, I had this inkling of a theory in my head that maybe Monica and Yuri were both omniscient and they were fighting over me simply because I didn't want it just to be Monica. I felt that was too simple, but the scene earlier disproved that as soon as it popped into my head. That being said, there is a possibility that might disprove my last few minutes of rambling.
And that is, maybe the game wanted to reveal Monica early. Just to make you feel all the more helpless when Yuri's stabbing herself to death, realizing that Monica was the one that did this to her. Perhaps this leads more into Monica's character. I do have a bit of a theory concerning Monica. Bear with me on this one.
DDLC is almost like a deconstruction of visual novels as a concept. It gives you all of these choices, but because Monica is literally in control of everything, the game makes you feel like those choices you made are meaningless. But on the other hand, you make the choice to delete Monica's character file. So do you hold the power? But at the same time, you really can't reach the end of the game without doing so. So are you really never in control the entire time? Are your choices merely a reflection of your morbid curiosity? Who knows? But what about Monica? As we enter the final portion of the game, Monica makes it clear that she is aware of the fact that she is in a game, even going so far as to look through your system files and find your real name. But here's the kicker. This happens to everyone. So my theory is that Monica really doesn't know anything about you. Whether she's aware of it or not, I think she is more in love with the idea of you than you herself. All her life, she was forced into a role of no choice, only to gain complete power over all of her world, i.e. the game. But you, as the player, have control outside of her world, and I think that's what she's after. Even during the end credits, she sings a song about how she doesn't know how to love you from her world to yours. Did you expect her to know anything else about you besides your name and the fact that you exist in a place where you have more control if she does this to every player? But this could be potentially all moot because you ultimately do have to delete her character file. And when you do this, she learns her lesson and realizes the other three girls aren't any less real than her and are equally as sentient. I thought this was where the game would end. But there is one scene at the very end that really threw me for a loop. Also, just a bit of a side note on this. This particular thing only applies to the regular ending of the game, not the true, quote, good ending of the game. The good ending is a much sweeter ending to this, but I personally think the regular, quote, bad ending of the game is a lot more powerful. In the very last scene of the game, it is revealed that Sayori is completely aware of what Monica was doing the entire time, and that Sayori even has some of those powers. But before Sayori can do anything extreme, Monica interjects and says that she was wrong to trust anyone with that kind of power, and deletes everything. To me, this is genius. Monica realized that her pursuit of the player on an existential level was causing everyone else harm, so she let everyone else live. She comes to terms with her own greed, only for the game 5 minutes later to shatter that reality by revealing that Sayori was going to fall right into the same trap. Everything that Monica had come to terms with about herself could just be applied to anyone else with that kind of power. Way to do a complete 180 on a character arc.
So for a guy who doesn't like visual novels, I am thoroughly impressed with Doki Doki Literature Club. And really, if my only complaint about the game is a storytelling preference that doesn't detract from the overall experience, I would say that is a job well done.
The deconstructive nature of DDLC ties in with the overall theme of choice versus control flawlessly, the execution of the premise was done quite well, and lastly, the actual horror elements of this game were done so well. I am aware of a lot of, quote, horror visual novels that are just moe torture porn for the sake of being moe torture porn. Both death scenes were intentionally abrasive and gut-wrenching. But while they were both over the top, I never felt that they were unnecessary. Also, the glitchy aesthetics in between made me feel like there was a sense of impending doom, that Monica was constantly looming over my shoulder, and if I made one wrong move, she was gonna punish me for it. Also, I will never forget the first time I saw Yuri's crazy eyes. That scene where she pulls you into the closet is forever burned into my retinas for all eternity.
So in conclusion, I give Doki Doki Literature Club a trick your friends into playing it, so that they can trick their friends into playing it. Out of 10. Man, this was way more serious than every other video I've ever done. What can I do to lighten up the mood? Wait, what month is this being uploaded?
Hello, I'm the Christmas tree, the magical Christmas tree.
Oh God, what am I looking at?
For this Christmas, you get hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Hot dogs! Yay! Oh no, I have to go home now.
Hot dogs?
Merry Christmas. Oh no.
Christmas videos next.